graphics I wrote, so. There's more in there, so I can share them with everybody.
What are you forgetting?
That's the Meg one, right?
Oh,
The
oh,
other's
look
the
at that.
family. That's
Look at
Meg's.
that. All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, 6 p.m. please.
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood.
I'm right here.
Meg LaFave.
I'm also here.
Barbara Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costick.
Here.
James Coffey.
Here.
And Rick Collins.
Before we move on, I'm actually going to ask for a brief moment of silence to honor the passing of President Bush, who will be, or is being laid to rest today. If you just join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. Resolution 221, approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of November 1st and November 15th, 2018 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Wood, is there a second? Second. Costick, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. At this point, is there anything for public comment this evening? Okay, that wasn't. What we are going to do is I am going to pass this off to Trevor Cole to give a little bit of an overview as it relates to the public hearing, and then we'll open the public hearing following that. Okay? So I'll kick it off to you, Mr. Cole.
Okay. Supervisor can attest that this was casting beautifully when we walked out of the room. So going to bring it back up.
Need some lights
I'll
turned
turn
down?
off that one light right there.
Just tell me which one.
No, and
Thank you.
There we go.
there we go.
Thank you,
Good
David.
job.
Supervisor Cashman, members of the board, thank you very much. I'll give you a kind of a brief overview of what the proposed moratorium entails. More importantly, why it's proposed and the areas in which it's proposed.
Is this gonna show up on TV?
Want me to?
I'm just wondering if, would it show up on a TV if he's pointing things?
That camera, not on that camera, no.
No.
You want me to turn the camera?
I mean, if you want to try to get it break, that'd be great.
If anybody's watching it and you get an explanation, it's nice for them to be able to see.
Sure.
Why don't you pull it out there a little bit? Try that. You're good.
Thanks.
All right. Most of you are pretty familiar with, all of you are quite familiar with our regular town zoning map. You've seen it probably more than you'd like over the years. The area that we're gonna talk about is this area, and portions of it, which is the main commercial uptown corridor. And that's the focus. Would you like me to stand somewhere else or get picked up on a microphone?
Go ahead.
The map in front of you right here shows this, it's kind of a zoomed in area on our red commercial district. This is a map that was developed in the preliminary stages of our smart growth plan development, and it shows different types of land uses. Down here is the key. I can talk you through most of it. Red is commercial, gray is primarily vacant, this yellow color is residential. One of the key components of the smart growth plan that we're working on is to mix commercial and residential uses. Really, you know, the kind of the modern standard is putting people where your activity is, so you can live, work, play. This map gave us a sense of how development was occurring and has given us a sense of how we might wanna guide, future development in the town. This was a preliminary kind of concept build-out map that was, developed by our consultants at Chase & Companies. And this is sort of a future dream, you know, this could be 40 years out, potential of development. But what you see here is mixed-use residential development. Tom Miller Road is up here, this is your Route 3 corridor, Ruger Street down here, Military Turnpike. You know, so that main quadrangle that we think of as the uptown corridor, and here you have, you know, clearly labeled as the mall. This shows a proposed build-out, creation of neighborhoods, new road connectivity, even all the way up to 374. This is kind of a grand, I don't wanna call it a dream, it's actually an elaboration on the natural growth that's occurring, but formalizing some development patterns and identifying more clearly where land use could go and where it can't go. Right here you'll see, you know, wetlands that we don't, you know, plan to do anything with. They're there, they're natural, and they'll be there. This was a more refined version of this plan. This is still in draft form, but it identifies kind of more clearly, more uniformly, and obviously a little more visually clearly, some of the proposed development schemes, as well as existing. So this map adds some potential land uses upon what exists, just to get your imagination going. The result of this was, now what might we do with future zoning? And that's where this draft transect zoning map has come. This is by no means set in stone, but it's a good idea of where we may go. And one thing I want to point out in all of these maps, even if I go back to the original, over here, this may be more important than what this is, but notice in each of these pictures, there's a lot of housing. This is a more urban area, which would be shown in areas like this on the map, that you'll see as SD. But going back to T5, T4, T3, you know, your T5, T4s, and T3s. These zones look like this. And that can be mixed use though. T5 is, you know, first floor, commercial, mixed use offices, but also with residential, putting people in that area. With developments like Northwood, housing coming, 80 new units, we're seeing that housing moving into the commercial zone. So after, you know, discussion with our consultants and in the planning department and with the codes department, we started to have, you know, some generalized concern that there's certain uses that are now allowed, going back to the original zoning map we have. That's all one zone, right? Primarily, with in some of our areas in this SC, some industrial, some SC here, but primarily this is all one type of zoning that allows for certain uses. That map looks a lot different than where we think we want to go, with a much more nuanced approach to zoning that would prescribe a lot more mixed use, especially residential. Keep in mind, in that big red block that I showed you, there is no single family or duplex housing allowed, only multifamily at a large scale. So this neighborhood concept really is not viable in our current zoning. And we've identified certain uses that we think may not quite fit or be compatible with that type of mixed use. Some of those are more heavy uses, you know, gas stations, contractor storage yards, public utilities, things that you might not want to be generally allowed right in the middle of what you may see as neighborhoods in the future. So we've, you know, developed a general proposed moratorium on certain uses, 6 months, and the reason for that timeline is that'd give us time, hopefully, to have completed our smart growth plan and have an idea of where the next zoning amendments would go, and map amendments as well. So with that, again, applying to just these certain zones, we've come up with proposed affected areas, which would be the T3C, T3N, T4, and T5, as shown on this map. And this was an exhibit to that proposed moratorium. And specifically, this law applies to site plans and special use permits as defined in the town zoning ordinance. that propose to construct gasoline stations, industrial machine shops, contractor storage yards, and public utilities. It was our sense that those particular uses could potentially inhibit the development of mixed use, especially in the T3, T4, and T5 zones. That's the proposed moratorium in a nutshell. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
And we are not voting on the moratorium tonight, just so people know. We're gonna, at this time, I'm gonna move forward to open the formal public hearing so that we have that on document. So the town board meeting public hearing December 6, 2018, notice is hereby given that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board will meet and hold public hearings hereon at the town hall located at Banker Road, in the town of Plattsburgh, Clinton County, New York, December 6th. Prevailing time in relation to the moratorium on certain specific unused incompatible with mixed-use residential development in the town smart growth plan study area proposed zones T3C, T3N, T4, and T5. We will accept written comments into the record of the hearing and also open the public hearing to the floor for public comments. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Wood and LaFave. Is there any discussion to that? Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Hank LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes, the public hearing is officially open here at the time of 6:10 PM. Is there anybody wishing to come forward for public comment? I had to ask you though. You might know. Yes.
I would just like to add Trevor Cole, Town Planning Department, that there is a public event at Uno Pizzeria tonight on this particular area of the town and its smart growth plan. The board is invited, any members of the public are invited, it's from 6 to 8, to learn more about the smart growth plan and any of the areas that would be affected by this future plan. And if any of you want to reach out further and invite anyone else in the public, I'd welcome you to do so, we'd love to hear from them. Thank you.
Do you need to be there now?
I will be going there right from here.
All right. I'm gonna leave this open just for another couple moments and then we'll close it out shortly. All right, can I get resolution 215, 2018 budget amendment?
Whereas the town may need to amend the 2018 budget to reflect changes in revenue and expenditures during the year. Therefore, be resolved, whereas the budget amendments will be offset from existing fund balances and additional revenues. Therefore, be resolved that the town board, Town of Plattsburgh, authorizes the following budget amendments. Increase appropriation, general research, $20,000. Decrease appropriation contingency to reflect illegal fees incurred, $20,000. Increase appropriation field maintenance, $10,000. Increase revenue miscellaneous to reflect Everest Rabideau Park drainage improvement donation and the use of the Parklands Fund, $10,000. Increase appropriation field maintenance, $6,000. Increase appropriation capital equipment outlay, $13,000. Decrease appropriation personal services, $17,000. Decrease appropriation park supplies to reflect Everest Rabideau Park drainage improvement to purchase new soccer goals and phone upgrades, $2,000. Increase appropriations equipment capital outlay, $29,000. Decrease appropriation personal services, $20,000. Decrease appropriation vehicle repairs, $4,000. Decrease appropriation retirement, $5,000 to purchase new trucks for codes and zoning. Consolidated sewer fund, increase appropriations equipment capital outlay, $5,500. Decrease appropriation supplies, $500. Decrease appropriation electricity, $3,000. Decrease appropriation electricity to reflect replacement of well number 7 pump, $2,000. And it be further resolved.
Is there a motion to take this resolution off the table as amended by the finance manager? Costick. Is there a second?
Second.
LaFave, any discussion? Basically, it was just reorganized for some clarity. Okay.
Appreciate that.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Thank you very much. Resolution 222, abstract 1A-18. Thank you, Mr. Cole. I'll close the public hearing after this resolution, so you can head on in.
Resolved that the abstract of audit of claims number 1A-18, 2461 to 2621 for $205,279.36, and abstract 1A-18A, 429 to 455 prepays in the amount of $908,144.47 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisors hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Wood. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. And we just go back to the public hearing. Calling just once again, is there anyone looking to provide written comment to the record or come to the floor for public comment? Seeing none, I will accept a motion to close this public hearing. Is there a motion to do so? Costick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, the public hearing will officially close at 6:15 p.m.
Thank you, Trevor, for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Trevor, thank you very much.
I think
Thanks,
a
Trevor.
couple of us may go
We'll
over
see you gentlemen.
All
after.
right, look forward to seeing you. If not, we'll give you a report.
Okay,
All
thank you.
right. Thank you.
Resolution 223, 3% site plan return deposit for Tribal Family Properties LLC, place site plan and SUP 2010.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Board approved the detailed preliminary plan for Trombley Family Properties LLC, site plan and SUP on November 26, 2011. Whereas the Planning Department, after review of the records, determined the site plan approval has expired in accordance with the town zoning ordinance, Article 7, Section 7.10B. And whereas it is no longer necessary to hold the set of deposit. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisors hereby authorized and directed to release of the said deposit in the amount of $3,000 plus accrued interest to date. And it be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded by the Planning Department Secretary with the return of deposit to Trombley Family Properties LLC.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second? Costick, any discussion?
Just keeping consistent, I know it's hard to do that, it's just our planning department, you know, planning, community development. Just keep moving forward with that.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Carries. Resolution 224, 3% site plan return deposit for 80K Coast Vineyard Site Plan 2017.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements for the Adirondack Coast Vineyard Site Plan 2017. Whereas the Planning Department has coordinated said inspections of said project and reports all requirements have been met and completed. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisors hereby authorized and directed to the release of the deposit in the amount of $500 plus accrued interest to date. And it be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded by the Planning Department Secretary with the return of deposit to Elk Properties Management LLC.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
I always know I could count on you, John. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion? I noted the name.
All right, thanks a lot.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So does carry. Resolution 225, Water and Wastewater Department, purchase request for new trucks.
Whereas New York State, through the Office of General Services Standards and Purchase Group, has received contract number 40451 and awarded number 22898 for light-duty vehicles. And whereas Scott Stoddard, Director, and Bruce Barber, Automotive Mechanic, have completed with the New York State OGS procurement requirements for vehicle acquisition to be completed on the competitive mini bid process executed via New York State Vehicle Marketplace. And whereas Mr. Stoddard is requesting permission to purchase two new 2019 150 XL trucks in the amount of $29,844.98 each to be used by the Town of Plattsburgh Water and Wastewater Department pursuant to New York State Office through the General Services Standard Purchase Group Contract number 40451, award number 22898, in the amount not to exceed $56,689.96. Now therefore be resolved, the town board does hereby grant permission to Mr. Stoddard to order said trucks, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign any and all related documents required for the purchase. And it is further resolved that the purchase of the two 2019 Ford F-150 trucks from Carmody Ford Incorporated, Greenwich, New York, 12834, in the amount of $56,689.96 be approved, and it is further resolved that payment for said purchase will be made payable from the 2018 Water and Wastewater Budget Equipment Capital Outlay account, and that the copy of this resolution be given to the Director of Water and Wastewater Department, Town Clerk, and the Budget Officer.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Caustic, is there a second?
Second.
LaFave, any discussion?
Yeah, there's
Is
this,
there a,
this 56,000,
that's just a
689, but
typo?
on the bid it said 59, 689, so it's 59 to 56.
the third whereas, Michael, it's just probably a typo, it should be
Yep.
59, 689, 96.
Yep. Okay,
And Scott did discuss the purchase with us. This is, they're replacing a couple of trucks that are long overdue.
But the bid says 59, it's $3,000 more. Did we transpose the numbers, the 9 and the 6?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Tom,
I think the
there was
6
a
should be a 9, the 56
Yeah.
should be.
yeah, that's
That's
what
what
I'm
I was
saying, I
saying.
made that correction with
59,
the,
just
yeah.
need
the
to change
layover.
the
Yep.
29,844.
Yep.
Yeah,
And they do take good care of their trucks.
actually, it wasn't the water department, but it was in the same vein. Someone was visiting, the water department to drop something, the highway department yesterday, and they said, you know, I travel around to a lot of municipalities, and the town of Plattsburgh keeps their entire fleet in really good shape. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's certainly much better than a lot of other.
They're work trucks, but I think they do a good job.
Yeah, so, all right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 226, base manhole project payment estimate 1.
Whereas resolution 017-235, New York, the Town of Plattsburgh previously was awarded to Aero Construction Company for base manhole rehabilitation. And whereas Aero Construction Incorporated has submitted paperwork for payment estimate number 1. Whereas LaBerge Engineering Consulting Group and Scott Stoddard, Director of the Water and Wastewater Department, have reviewed said paperwork as indicated. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized to make payment from the account number H19-8120-2000 in the amount of $342,713.45 for base manhole rehabilitation payment number 1, dated November 20th, 2018, payable to Aero Construction Company Incorporated, and it is further resolved that a copy of this resolution and executed periodic number 1 payment be given to the finance manager and director of water and wastewater.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Caustic, any discussion?
Again, Scott discussed this one with us, and this is cut down on the amount of groundwater leaking in substantially. I forget he gave us a percentage reduction, so it's,
Yeah, it was significant.
yeah, this is a great project, so.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So does carry. Resolution 227.
Mr. Chairman, could I just, on previous resolution 225, I understood that the numbers were transposed, and it was supposed to be 56 to 59. But when you take the figure here and double it, it still comes out to 59.
yeah, that's
It's
what we're
supposed to be
saying.
59.
That's what
That's-
I've introduced, Tom,
Yeah.
is that it was supposed to be 59.
Yeah.
Matching the behind that last, instead of 56, it should be 59.
Yeah.
That's the change.
I guess I got it opposite way, sorry.
It's okay.
Resolution 227, 2 million gallon water storage tank project payment estimate 1.
Resolution 018-156, the Town of Plattsburgh previously awarded CB&I LLC a 2 million gallon water tank storage. And whereas CB&I LLC has submitted paperwork for payment estimate number 1. Whereas LaBerge Engineering Consulting Group and Scott Stoddard, Director of the Water and Wastewater Department, have reviewed said paperwork as indicated. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized to make said payment from the account of H09-8340-2000 in the amount of $246,380.60 for the 2 million gallon water storage tank payment number 1 dated November 9th, 2018, payable to CB&I LLC. And it is further resolved that a copy of this resolution and executed payment number 1 be given to the finance manager and director of water and wastewater department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So does carry. Resolution 228, resignation of Amy Menard as deputy town clerk.
Whereas Ms. Amy Menard has submitted a letter of resignation from her position as deputy town clerk effective December 19, 2018. Therefore be resolved that the town board, Town of Plattsburgh, with appreciation for her prior services in this position, accept Ms. Menard's letter of resignation as deputy town clerk. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and one to be put in her personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, I was gonna say, she's leaving anyways, folks.
So we have to do it, okay.
Too bad.
Any discussion?
Just want to thank Amy for her time and
Yeah.
service while she was here.
Absolutely.
Likewise. And I anticipate, Rick, over the next couple of weeks or so, you know, we probably will engage in a conversation with you about, you know, what are your plans for covering the office and, you know, recruitment strategies, et cetera. So, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 So does carry. I would seek the motion to go into executive session to discuss the work history of one specific individual very briefly, with no action to be taken though.
So moved.
Second.
Hebert, LaFave, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're going to executive session at 6:26.
Thank you, Debbie. It's like a
Take
seasonal,
them home.
a seasonal supply. Thank you.
Hey,
Everybody can have them, you still have them in there, but,
Seasonal.
there's
like
no
Centennial.
picking out certain colors or flavors.
which flavors do you like, Meg?
I like the ones that taste good.
That didn't narrow it down at all.
I like the ones that taste good. That thing looks like Levittown, doesn't it?
Yep.
Big whoop, I mean, Levittown is 60 years old, nothing new.
Okay.
It's just one big communist idea,
Huh?
one big communist idea.
Yep.
It is. So you're gonna check my thing for me?
Well,
You're gonna check my thing for me?
yep.
It's in the book, right?
No, it's on a card.